Somi has been one of the most polarizing artists in the K-pop industry as of recent, every single one of her releases bringing up insane amounts of attention. It's not necessarily good, but I think it's nothing new that even bad press is good press, if it ends up resulting in companies making money. I've always had a feeling that the Black label, more specifically Teddy, doesn't actually know what to do with her. They wanted for her to instantly blow up and thrive on the success she gathered from being a part of IOI. But things end up exactly like that, and every single one of her releases now feels like a desperate attempt at making a breakout song, which would fire Somi's popularity through the roof. Their latest attempt is called XOXO, which I'll be reviewing today in detail, along with all of the besides from her first ever album with the same name. Buckle up, because I have a lot to say. It's no secret that Somi's stylist clearly doesn't know what their job is, because this wacky shit keeps happening comeback after comeback. I can give it pass here and there, since some of her looks she wore before actually looked decent or even cute. But not a single look in the music video is like that, and I'm displeased with pretty much all of them. I won't even bother to point out any specific ones, because they are on the same level of awful. It sounds harsh maybe, but it is the truth. Putting an idol in weird clothes apparently means being unique, even if those pieces don't go together in any way. I personally just for once wish to see her wear something completely basic and not over the top obnoxious. She's been known for the bad styling since the very start, and I think at this point it's enough. Let's so better Somi's stylist. Let's do much better, or I don't even want to see how much lower all of this can get, before everybody collectively loses their mind. I gave up on K-pop lyrics a long time ago, because most of them are just tragic or uninspiring. Every time I reviewed lyrics of a certain release, I consistently got bashed for not appreciating the thought and effort. I'm sorry, but just because you put effort into something, doesn't mean it's good. For XOXO's lyrics I can say that they are pretty decent, although repetitive. The only exception is the rap part, because that is so badly written, where it's almost unlistenable. Rhymes are the essential part of every rap or just lyrical writing in general. In this rap they are non-existent, and it's even worse than Ryujin's part in Mafia in the Morning. I usually don't get easily bothered by the lack of rhymes, but in this case it's truly distracting and doesn't fit the song in any way. But we will talk about forcing rap parts into songs that don't need it later on in the video. I think this is a pretty relatable song for everyone who went through a breakup at some point in their lives, myself included. Yes, it does have a lot of that I'm a bad bitch and you lost that bad bitch kind of energy, but if you don't hype yourself up after being cheated on, then who will? I'm glad to see Somi participating in the writing as well, so that way it has at least a bit of her own touch in it, even if it's the smallest portion out of everyone who wrote the lyrics. It's better than nothing, and I hope she gets to do even more of it in the near future. Although we probably won't hear of her for another year, but let's stay positive for now. At the time of me editing this video, Somi performed XOXO at the Out Now Comeback show, where we will able to see the whole choreography. Already from the tiny parts we saw in the music video, the chorus part caught my eye. The Black label and whoever choreographs for them does a really good job at expressing the lyrics and movements, so she is actually telling a story while performing each song. This is a clear influence from her time at JYP, because this type of choreography applies to almost all of its artists. Here is where the difference lies between a choreography like this and Rosie's on the ground, for example. I don't mind a simple choreo, if it's still interesting to watch, and Somi's dances are. She isn't doing backflips or anything, but is still able to keep your attention all the way through. Frankly, that's also because of her great stage presence, which is getting better with each release. But the choreography itself doesn't fail at making the performance interesting either. I think this one might even be my favorite out of all of her title track choreographies, but I have to sleep on that thought for a little while longer. What You Waiting For is also so good, so I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm happy with the choreography, and I wish YG did something similar with Blackpink, because their dances are getting worse with each release and it's becoming weirdly awkward. I saw a lot of people point out the resemblance between this music video at the one of Itzy's Not Shy. Well, I'd lie if I said that the car ride in the desert doesn't look the exact same. Even the styling is the same wacky mess. There are also a lot of similarities with Blackpink music videos, which I think only shows the lack of creativity. The car punching scene is from Lisa's part in Love Sick Girl's music video, and some parts also remind me of Jennie's solo. She even references it in the lyrics and does the signature move. I don't know how I feel about that, because tapping Somi to Blackpink, instead of trying to create her own identity, isn't as smart as the Black label maybe thinks it is. The concept as a whole just looks like every Blackpink music video mashed into one, and that's it. It promotes a very toxic and unrealistic way of handling heartbreak, which I'm getting sick of in K-pop. Not all of us girls want to burn a guy's house down and destroy his entire life. Maybe some of us are mature enough to actually just get over him and live a better life single. I know it's just a story and whatever, but it's totally unoriginal and lacks any type of creativity. The color palette isn't even visually pleasing if you ask me. As much as I love the Dum Dum music video, I absolutely dislike this one. It has a storyline, I guess, but it lacks something interesting so badly that at the end I just don't care. Although the ending of her accidentally blowing everything up is hilarious and probably Somi's idea. I love this woman so much. She is so funny. This is probably the very first title track where I can see how commercialized Somi's music truly is. As soon as the chorus hit, I was nothing short but disappointed. With Teddy producing it, I'm not even shocked anymore, but this legit sounds like something you would hear in a store back in 2013 or something, and you wouldn't even pay attention to it. It sounds so outdated and boring, to the point it makes my heart hurt. XOXO goes right in the same pile as If It's Your Last. I would almost dare to say this was some type of Blackpink reject song or something like that, because there is no way they produced this in 2021 and thought it was okay. One thing is to be inspired by, for example, 80s music and retro aesthetic, while making it modern and fresh. But this just isn't any of that. It's not fresh, it's not unique, and it's nothing we haven't heard a billion times before, just done much better. Those who say this is her best title track, I have to strongly disagree. In my opinion, it's her worst, and I don't have intentions of coming back to it. As I listened to it more for the sake of this video, it grew on me a little bit and I can maybe see the appeal, but it's far from being a song I love or like. They also completely missed with the rap, as I've already mentioned earlier. It could potentially fit the song, since the flow wasn't that bad, but they would have to actually write it as a rap verse. Not just random sentences thrown together to the point they completely disrupt the song as a whole. Somi is a decent rapper at best, so constantly forcing these raps into her songs isn't exactly doing her much good. Focus on her vocals instead, because that's where her strongest potentials lay. But then again, it's Teddy. What else did we even expect? As of right now, I give XOXO 5.5 out of 10, and we will see if it manages to climb any higher. I doubt it though, because I just can't seem to be able to come around it. With the title track also came Somi's first ever album of the same name, which altogether has 8 songs on it. 4 were released prior to this comeback and 4 of them are new. I will review all remaining 8, because I never talked about Somi before on my channel, so I thought it would be fun to do a whole rundown through her discography in this video. If you follow me on my Instagram account, then you very well know that I'm a huge fan of Dum Dum. It's a much stronger track than XOXO and should be the main title track in my personal opinion. Yes, it was only 2 minutes and a half long, but with an added bridge maybe, it could make up for a perfect main representation of this era. Yes, many people hated it, but then again, it's Somi and it happens every single time she releases something. The concept of it was so fun, same with the choreography, and the styling was just as wacky, so what more could you wish for? For me it's still a very strong 9.5 out of 10, and it's not coming down from my playlist anytime soon. Don't let me go, don't let me go, don't let me go. Don't Let Me Go is a typical case of a song where the featured artist carries the entire thing with their one little part. Giri Boy has a very similar rapping style to Dun from P Nation, which I absolutely love, so his verse was without a doubt my favorite and actually the one thing I enjoy about this song. Everything else is so painfully out of Somi's range, where she is barely able to hit the proper notes. I can't imagine her performing this completely live while dancing, because it would be almost impossible so hit the notes as high as this song demands from her. Her comfortable range lays more in the deeper or lower register, which Don't Let Me Go definitely isn't. I can't give it more than 3 out of 10.
I'll be stuck in this beautiful nightmare till you come back. I'll be still.
Anymore is a cute little song and nothing really more than that. It's closer to her range and she doesn't seem to be struggling as much, although it's still too high in my opinion. I don't even know what to say about it to be completely honest, because yes, it's cute and the melody gets stuck in your head. But there isn't a single part that stands out or makes up for a powerful delivery. It's this far the best B-side on the album, but that's not much of a compliment to be honest. It made it to my playlist though for now, so that's something. Overall I give it 6.5 out of 10. You can clearly tell this song is composed by Somi herself, because it plays with a lot more interesting layering in the production, as well as it sounds a lot less like a desperate grab for a massive hit. It's a pretty simple and beautiful song, showing her truest potentials as a singer and composer. It's pure proof that if she was allowed to compose all her music on her own, this album would be 100 times better. I enjoy this a lot more than everything else other producers like Teddy were able to show on this album, and that tells a lot. She's not even super experienced yet, but she's already having more originality than all YG producers combined. I give this song 8 out of 10.
Shake it, shake it like you want my birthday.
Somi's debut song that started the polarizing opinions on how much she declined in quality since she left JYP. On the other hand, I never exactly understood the hate around this song, because in my opinion it's good and at the time even brought something new to the table. Yes, it's a bit all over the place, but that messiness eventually leads to something and builds up to a very good song that doesn't take itself too seriously. I did stop listening to it some time ago, but if it ever comes on shuffle, I never dare to skip it. It's a bop and it will always stay one for me, no matter what anyone says. I give it 9 out of 10.
Tell me what you waiting for, baby, I've been waiting for. You wanna stop.
Till this very day What You Waiting For remains as Somi's best title track and one of her best songs in general. At the time it wasn't as well received due to being westernized or whatever that means. I couldn't care less really, because it's so catchy and although the production isn't anything unique, it still brings me joy and is so great to listen to or even dance to. Somi seems to be comfortable in this range and I remember having this song on loop for a week after it came out. Without a doubt it's still a 10 out of 10 for me.
Can't get you out of my head, can't get you out of my head, can't get you out of.
Out of My Head is yet another song composed by Somi and the best song in her entire discography. Everything about it is perfect and reminds me a lot of something that IU could potentially release. It's a bit in a higher range than Watermelon, but she still sounds completely comfortable, so I have nothing to complain about. I adored this song since very first listen and I don't think there will ever come time when I don't enjoy it anymore. It's an easy listen and once again Somi plays with interesting layerings in the production, beating all other producers on this album by a mile. A straight up 10 out of 10. As a whole, did I expect more from Somi's debut album? Yes and no. This is her first ever physical release and being under the Black label didn't put my expectations crazily high, but at the same time I hope to see something at least a tiny bit more original that would stick with me for longer. Out of 4 new songs I can't remember for a single one how it sounds like. They all easily slipped my mind. And that's not a good sign. I already know they will age horribly, but as of right now XOXO stands at 7.7 out of 10, which is only because of her other title tracks released before this album came out. Without them the story would be much different. With that, let me know your opinion in the comments below, as well like, share and subscribe, because it helps me out a lot. I'll see you again very soon in a brand new video. Bye bye, love you all so much.